Okay, video number 2. We're on number 23. The mass of Earth is 5.9 times 10 to the 24th kilograms, and there's the mass of the moon. So you're looking for these key words to make your math problem. Remember, you need to write it out. So it says, use the information above to answer the next 3 questions. What is the combined mass of the Earth and the moon? When it's a combined mass, you're going to add your scientific notation. Now make sure your calculator is in scientific notation mode. 5.97 times 10 to the 24th, use your parentheses, plus 7.34 times 10 to the 22nd. Your answer should be in scientific notation. It should be 6.0434 times 10 to the 24th. When it says how many more, we learn when it says how many more to subtract. How many more is the kilograms of the mass of the Earth than the moon? So the Earth needs to come first. 5.97, sorry that messed up there. 10 to the 24th, parentheses, use your parentheses, minus 7.34 times 10 to the 22nd. So this answer should be 5.8966 times 10 to the 24th. And the last one here, how many times greater? That means you're going to divide. Now make sure you set it up correctly. The mass of the Earth than the mass of the moon. So the Earth needs to be divided by the moon. So your math problem, 5.97 times 10 to the 24th divided by 7.34 times 10 to the 22nd. And this answer would be 8.135 ... times 10 to the 1st. The last word problem here, before we do some multiple choice, a corporation employs this many people, and the average wage for each employee is this, and how much do they pay all the employees? You're going to multiply. Each person receives that. So this one, 2.1 times 10 to the 5th times 6.5 times 10 to the 4th. Use your parentheses. This is 1.365 times 10 to the 10th. So now we're on to the multiple choice questions. Don't just guess, because on your test there are a lot. And if you guess, chances are you might guess wrong. So first off, this one says, which one is true? On your paper, you would have 3.141 ... It's irrational. That's not what it's asking, though. 28 over 11 is 3.111 ... Well, not ... I apologize. 3.1 repeating. Let me go back again. And which one makes that true? I have to put another one here so I can compare those. So the first one should be greater than. On 26, you should take the time to make sure you know what each of these are. The square root of 8 is 2.828 ... Pi is 3.141 ... 3.1 repeating, I'm going to put 3 ones because there's 3 placeholders here. And the last one, pi over 2, is 1.570. So the smallest number obviously is this pi over 2. And if you use test-taking strategies, I'd cross these off. So it's only the last 2, C or D. And the one that you should pick is letter C. So this was A, this was C. All right, on the back, this one says which one is false. False. The first one says the square root of 65 is rational. You should have found that 65 is a ... So that is not true. 2.3 repeating. Well, we don't have to do any more because that one is false. So you should have picked letter A. 4 points representing these numbers are plotted. Which statement correctly identifies correctly the location of the points and if it's rational or irrational? The first one, let me move this down some, says point N is the location of the square root of 49. Square root of 49 is 7. 7 is not irrational, so you shouldn't have picked A. Point P is the location of 7.1 repeating and is irrational. You should not have picked that because that is rational. Point M is the location of this number and is rational. Well, so far that's true. I need to know what 34 over 5 is as a decimal. 34 over 5. If you put that in your calculator, that is where M is, 6.8, near it. So you should have picked letter C. Number 29. A cell phone screen has a diagonal of this. Which whole number is closest to the length? So you're just putting this in your calculator. When you do, you get 8.888 ... Which whole number is closest? You should have picked letter B. The next one, what are the values of the square root? I'm going to put a star here. 12 over 8, negative 12 over 8, negative 3 over 2, and notice this has plus minus. Well, that's the only answer that makes sense because you have to have two solutions when you take a square root. So this answer is letter D. The next one said, which irrational has a value greater than x? X looks like it's more than 8, but less than 9. When you put these in your calculator, this first one gives us 5.527 ... Not that. The second one gives us, when we put in our calculator, 7.068 ... Not that. The third one, the square root of 30 plus 4. That gives us 9.477 ... Well, it's not, this number is between 8 and 9. This one says greater than that, so your answer is letter C. On the back, which one inequality compares two rational numbers? The only ones that you could pick, this one has irrational, don't pick that. Square root of 65 is irrational, don't pick that. So it's either B or C. This is 2. The other one is 2.25. 2 is not greater than 2.5, so the only one that made sense was letter C, because this is 0.55 greater than 0.50. We had ones like the next one on our notes. We had it on our homework. You're going to see it on your test. 8 pi over 5, square root of 41. We need the square root of something to be in between here. 8 pi over 5 is 5.026 ... Square root of 41, 6.403 ... That means the whole number is 6, but we don't want to pick that because we want the square root of 36 to be 6. That is letter D. The cardboard box, this says, is this math problem? To solve that math problem, you have to do the opposite of a cube root. The opposite of a cube root is cubing. So this should be x is 64, which is letter D. The last two, when you read this one, you have to solve this. When you solve x squared is 4, you take the square root. Square roots have two solutions. The square root of 4 is 2, so So you need positive and negative 2. And your last one, which points are greater than 27 over 5? 27 over 5 is 5.4. So the points greater than 5.4 are M, T, and R. Make sure you know what you're doing because our test is tomorrow. Good luck.